Okay, hey, it's Paul Toothpicks Curry here, founder and broadcaster for SmoothJazz.Melbourne. Hey, welcome everyone, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome the great man right beside me on the screen here, C.Long, absolute vocalist, keyboardist, and look, let me say, an epic producer. C.Long, welcome to the SmoothJazz.Melbourne. Welcome to the Smooth Live Show podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Paul, man. Thank you for having me again.
It's absolutely sensational. You know, it's funny, man. We're just talking, just briefly before the amazing thing about how time has flown, because I was just doing a bit of research and reflection on our catch up earlier. It's just about 3 years ago.
Yeah, unbelievable, but yeah, that's the truth.
You know what? Nostalgia. That was the launch of the Nostalgia album, which is the Australian release for us. I mean, obviously, right. You get it out there in the world, but Aussie, we're down under, right? So we're a little bit slower in getting the music. But that's what it was around about June, I think we were talking about. But when I was reflecting back and thought, wow, at least 2 years, how time's flown. And here we are today. Honoured to have you back on the show, mate. With the release of your, would that be your album number 3?
Well, second LP and
second LP,
fifth all together if you want to add in the EPs. But yeah, this is the second LP.
Second LP, mate. A long story. Congrats, and I'm going to bring that up on the screen in a sec.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So we could just show our listeners and viewers, because it will be on the show. But have a look at that one. Can you see that?
Nice.
Here we go. Look at that. Oh yeah, it's in and out. Maybe it's the screen there, but. We'll go into that, but yeah. So the LP launch Jan 6, a long story, and we're great to have you on the program today to talk about it and listen to some tunes and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad to be here.
Thanks, Wade. Obviously, it's a slight change to the program, so what we'd like to do is podcasts. So we're going to push this out to the podcast this week, and really excited to have our podcast listener groups globally getting hold of Wade C.Long's latest LP, man, which is
so cool.
A long story. So, man, how you been, man? Come on, let's just say it's you're in LA, I'm in Melbourne, and what's going on? What's happening in LA at the moment? What's
a lot of rain at the moment. I don't know what's going on here. I thought I moved to Seattle or somewhere else. It's just raining cats and dogs the past week or so, man. I don't know what's going on, but. Yeah, I'm doing really great. The early response to the album has been phenomenal, better than I could have ever dreamed. The current single is blowing up and really doing some damage on the charts. I'm excited, to be honest with you. I'm just really excited.
That's amazing, man. I mean, absolutely amazing. So, for our viewers, for our listeners, mate, A Long Story is absolutely epic. I've been listening to it. But your single release, and we'll cut back a little bit. Yeah. Last year, so in 2022, it was you released the single, I think the precursor of the album, Electricity.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I had released Electricity back in April.
And
yes.
Here we are today. Here we are, Celebrate You, featuring what I've actually noted, underground soul legend.
Hil St.Soul, but that is a wonderful way to put her, I think. Yeah, underground legend indeed. But yeah, which is crazy to me. I as great as she is to me, obviously, I'm probably a little biased since I liked her enough to ask her to be a part of my project. But it's amazing to me how underground she still is. But definitely a legend.
You know what? So there's you both have a common, I guess, collaboration or interest with a person called Tom. You got to help me out with the name here, mate. Just can't get it wrong.
Tom Glide.
Tom Glide. And yeah. So tell us a little bit about that, because I think that was the intro. Yeah, this is the intro to meet with Hil St.Soul.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it was funny that you mentioned Electricity, because we released Electricity. I think it was in March and went to radio in April. And around that time, I said, let's do some remixes. Had some really awesome remixes on it. One was by Funk Styles, which is the name my music partner Hans Anderson goes by. And then there was one by Tom Glide. Tom and I had met, and I asked him to do a remix for it. He actually did a couple of versions of the remix, and it turned out masterfully. Anyone who was familiar with his work, he's really great at what he does. And then I was also finishing up writing "Celebrate You" right around that time, and I was like, man, this is cool, but it'll sound even better with a female doing this song with me. And Hil St.Soul is somebody I've always admired her work. And I noticed that she and Tom had worked together previously. So I asked Tom if he wouldn't mind making a connection, just reaching out, seeing if she might be interested. He did, to my surprise. He said, sure, contact her. He said, she's fine with you contacting her. So I emailed her the song. Didn't hear back for a few days. And so I was like, well, maybe she's not interested, or maybe she's busy, maybe she's performing. Turned out she had been busy, but when she emailed me back, she asked me a couple of questions. I responded, and she was like, I'm in. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was really a long shot. I was not expecting it, but I was like, why not? And she was like, I'm in. She's like, I love the song, and it's different from things that I've done in the past and what people usually ask for me to do. So let's do it.
Phenomenal. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a wonderful, success. And it's hitting, let's say, UK, I think you had the UK Soul charts came on 12 in the Breakers, UK Soul charts, number 12.
Yep,
number
12
3 on the drawdown of Amazon. Come on, man.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of bouncing around a little bit, but yeah, absolutely. That's where it was.
Unreal, man. That's unbelievable. We're going to play Celebrate You shortly.
Okay.
And, for our listeners to obviously just hear this amazing song. Tell us about Celebrate You. Tell us about how you formulated it. You wrote the song, you all of the composition yourself.
Yes.
What's going on, man? What's going on in Wade C.Long's life?
So here's the short of the long of the story about Celebrate You. Celebrate You, I was really fooling around in the studio like I will do sometimes in between projects. Was not anticipating writing anything. I was really just messing around with some sounds. Kind of had some spare time. I said, mess around with some music. Why not? And I think it happens to us artists a lot of times when we're fooling around that some of our best stuff happens. And so I started creating, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to be just something that I can just leave hanging here. Because I really, at the time, was done, or so I thought, with the album. I had too many songs for the album at the time. Was already working on cutting some. But this music that I created sounded so good. I was like, I have to write to it. And crazy thing is, it's probably one of the toughest songs that I had to write, because based on how the music sounded, I felt like it needed to be a love song. Even though it's, faster, more upbeat, I felt like it needed to be a love song. And I was completely not in that space mentally at all.
Wow.
So I had to, it was like drawing blood. Like, you literally, I stayed up to the wee hours of the morning for about 3 or 4 nights. I would, when I should have been going to bed, probably, I would stay up working on these lyrics and just kind of crafted them until I felt like they fit the music well.
Yeah, right. Wow. And is that usually the case for tracks when you're putting an album together or an EP together? You find that you come with this obviously strategy, and then the strategy changes based on your musical guests, based on the feel.
For me, I come up with a plan, and the plan never lets me carry it out ever. Right, but I have to have one to kind of know where I'm starting with. First of all, really, for me, when I start on a project, I never start on a project purposely. I'm usually trying not to do it at that time. And then one song will come together, and then another song will come together that seems to fit. And then maybe an artist that I've been wanting to work with will reach out to me out of nowhere when I was trying to work on something with them, they were busy. It just all kind of comes together out of nowhere for me to where I know, okay, I know what time it is now. This is a project, and this is gonna be something. And the funny thing with the long story, some of the songs that didn't make Nostalgia, I put on there. I Like was one of the ones that was originally supposed to be on Nostalgia that I had cut, and it ended up being the first one on A Long Story. There's a couple of others, but when I got done putting together everything that I felt belonged on the album, I had over 20 tracks, which is kind of ridiculous for me. 11 is still long. And then I was able to cut them down. I think I cut at one time, I had them cut down to 8, and then there were a few that I just could not leave off. And then, of course, I had written Celebrate You, and I needed to include that on there. So, yeah, it's always a funny process when you're starting. You have to start from a blueprint, at least I do, but the blueprint never lets me do what I'm trying.
Isn't that, well, that's pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, I think.
And your process of elimination, what do I remove? Because it's all great, but what do I remove to make the album A Long Story,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for me, I kind of like to carry a philosophy that I saw older albums doing, where they will actually have a title of an album and everything kind of fit together under that title. So when I'm eliminating stuff, it kind of helps to what does not fit in the story. For instance, for A Long Story that I'm trying to tell, what doesn't fit in this story, or what doesn't fit quite as well, and what are the ones that absolutely have to go, even if there are other songs that I feel like are as good. What am I eliminating to make this story sound like a story in the end? So that's kind of the process that I use.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Man, do you consult? Would you go out and say, talk to some colleagues,
absolutely,
mates, in the game, and have, get some feedback?
Absolutely. I think I learn to consult more and more the more I get into this. I mentioned earlier my music partner, I always call him my musical better half, Hans Anderson, who is just a really dear friend who is. And he's one of these people who you think plays one instrument, and they only talk about that instrument, and you know them for years, and then all of a sudden you see them pull out something that you didn't even know that they play. Like Hans I've known him for 10 years. I knew he was an awesome cellist, and I know he's a great bassist. And I was talking about some guitar parts on A Long Story for a track that we didn't actually get to. But he said, I could put some guitar in there. I'm like, you play guitar? I'm like, what is that? But Hans he's amazing. He kind of helps me with that process. He records most of my vocals. He puts up with my mood swings when I'm recording that I need to get a lot better at managing. And he's really great. And then I asked Terrence Thompson, who is wonderful. I refer to him as a band leader. He's a keyboardist, composer, producer, vocalist as well. I asked him to be actually the production consultant for this album. And I asked him to do that because I admire his production, but I need another producer's ear that is not as biased as mine. Yeah. And so months I would send him the different songs I was considering, and give him a lot of attitude too. But he would tell me the truth. This track, your vocals aren't where they need to be on this. They don't fit. This part here, I would take out. I would turn this up. And he just gave me a lot of clear, concise, direct help, that really the project would have been a much lesser product in the end if he hadn't helped on the level that he had.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's important to, when you have people involved with what you do, to, especially if they're people who you've gotten to know some on a personal level, you don't want to always have people involved who agree with you so much naturally. Some of the people I'm closest to, we have different beliefs and lots of stuff, but I like to have people help me who don't agree with me with a lot of things, because I know that I'm getting a different perspective, where if you have people that have similar perspectives with everything as you, then like, why are you doing it? You're getting a duplicative view. Yeah. But that's why for me, it was really cool to have him involved and Hans as well. So they kind of kept me grounded in a lot of my decision making.
Yeah, sure. So if you just join us on the podcast or on the shows, we're chatting with the legend here, vocalist, keyboardist, producer Jaeigh C.Long, brand new LP. A Long Story is absolutely sensational. We're going to play shortly the release track, Celebrate You, featuring underground soul legend Hil St.Soul. I think I got that one right. Mate, tell us what's happening here, man. What's going on here?
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. I was tossing around ideas for a cover for it, and we had both taken some pictures and whatnot. And I wanted to go, even back, I would say last year when I first started letting people know about this project, I wanted to use an animated theme for it. But I thought that maybe a lot of the people in the listening group for the music might not get with it. But again, I consulted some people. Actually, my photographer, a guy named Amir SB, I consulted him as well. Everybody seemed to think the animated thing would work. So when it came time to do promo photos for the single, we had that I had made, the animated version that you see there. And then we had a non-animated version. And I actually reached out to Hil. I was like, okay, here are our choices. Like, which one of these do you really fancy? Like, which one? And I knew in my mind she was going to say, well, you know, the real one, obviously. She said, no, definitely the animated one. She said the other one doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. Exactly. And then I asked a couple other people, and they agreed with her. And so I just sent her a message. I said, always listen to the lady. So that's what's going on right there.
True, man. Absolutely true. Yeah. And I guess, you know, in retrospect, it does fit. It all works. I love the character and yeah, just, you know, you and her. And
that's great to hear.
You know, yeah, absolutely. Celebrate you. Christian, let's talk a little bit more around some of the musical guests. Sure. Actually, what we'll do is we'll go to the song. Here it is, Celebrate You, featuring Hil St.Soul, Jaeigh C.Long.
I want to celebrate you. I want to take some time. Want to elevate you just because you're mine. 'Cause it's my pleasure to show you my love. Let you know you're the one I'm thinking of, my baby.
I want to be a hero, be a champion. Your lover, your friend, I'll be your number one. You're the one I treasure, who my heart adores. And I'm so proud to be the one that you call yours.
Can you believe it, that we made it this far? So far, my love. I'll live life again just to share it with you and to spend my life with you.
Celebrate you. Take you some time. Yeah. Celebrate you, 'cause you're mine. I want 'cause you're my queen, the most beautiful woman a man has ever seen.
I wanna take a vow to not just love you now, but to have you and hold you as long as you allow.
Now can you believe it, that we made it this far, so far, my love. I'll sail the widest seas just to be with you and to share my life with you, baby.
Celebrate you, take some time.
Celebrate you, 'cause you're mine. Celebrate you, wine and dine. I wanna celebrate you in all time.
Just wanna celebrate you. Just wanna celebrate you. My love. Just wanna celebrate you, my love.
Just wanna celebrate you.
Celebrate
Just wanna celebrate you.
my love. Just wanna celebrate you, my love.
Now can you believe it, that we've made it this far, so far, my love.
I'll do it all again just to be with you and to share my love with you.
Celebrate you,
Celebrate you.
some time. Celebrate you, 'cause you're mine. It's a celebrate you, wine and dine.
We gotta
Celebrate you in all time. I wanna celebrate you.
All right, welcome back. Here we are with the great man, C.Long. It's a long story. LA to Melbourne. It's probably a bit of a hike as well, but yeah, welcome back. Great to have you back in the chair, man. Great to have you back.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy to be here, man.
So, mate, just talking about some of the musical guests that you got on the album. I mean, Christian de Mesones. I mean, he's a classic. You know,
Yeah.
we how did you meet Christian? I mean, what's the deal with that? I mean,
Craziest thing, I met Christian on a chat room for a radio station that we both
way.
randomly were listening to.
Yeah.
And like you go and you see the names of the people that are logged in. And I'm like, that can't be Christian de Mesones, Christian de Mesones.
Mm.
So I'm like, are you, the bassist Christian de Mesones? And he's like, yeah, Wade C.Long, I know you. I like your music. And I'm like, what? Because I didn't know the man had any idea who I was. So we started talking. I was like, listen, I have this piece that I'm working on. I made for my great nieces called Trin's Jam. I was like, it sounds cool now. I said, if it had your flavor in it, on your imagination, I think it would just take it to a whole nother level. And, again, I was expecting a lot of pushback, and I had my rebuttals ready and my counter statements. And he was like, oh yeah, we can do it.
Wow.
Just like that.
Wow.
And this is a man who now, he has a #1 hit on Billboard, from last year. And,
Correct.
really happy for him about that. We've become great friends over time. He's definitely one of my musical brothers now, but he jumped in there and we worked back and forth. He's another person who I can toss things off of from time to time. We don't always have the same perspective at all. And even with this song, which kind of it helped us to kind of grow and bond and butt heads in a creative way that was constructive. That when we ended up with the song, ended up with a song that I was really happy, to end up with for the album.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How many takes, Wade? How many takes? Take 6, take 10?
Oh, wow. Well, I took a million. I won't lie. Like, for me, it took forever to get it right. Him, I don't know. That's actually a really great question. If you get to talk to him at some point. I know we went back and forth and changed ideas several times because it was just we both were so into the piece. We wanted it to be the final version to be what we wanted it to be. And when you're dealing with two people with two distinct tastes, that kind of takes some time sometimes. But I think we were both happy with the finish. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, it's amazing. Well, we'll go to that track shortly as well. But so Trin's Jam, and also
Trin's Jam.
Trin's Jam. Yeah, I love the name. Like, I mean, it's just like, you know, we're
So Trinity and Jaeigh are my great nieces.
Trin's Jam. There you go.
For short, we call Trinity Trin, Jaeigh Jam. I was like, Trin's Jam.
Tell me, Wade, do you have the same? I mean, obviously, you come from Cleveland.
Yes.
Lovely city, obviously, but and a very musical city by the sounds of it as well.
Indeed.
Why LA? Was LA just helping you make the musical step? You know, or
well,
why
yeah,
not?
exactly. So at the time when I moved to LA, it was 2007, and I had a music partner at the time. We were partnered together producing some things, and actually we had a couple of acts back in Cleveland who a company out here in LA were interested in signing actually a bigger label. They were going to sign one of our acts as an artist and us as writers on their staff. And traveling back and forth began to be a bit much. And we both were like, hey, LA is not probably a bad place to live anyway. Let's, just go out there. And, it'd make meeting with these guys easier. And we came out here. Unfortunately, the deal fell through. But by the time that happened, I was just in love with the city, just in love with the weather for one. Sorry, Cleveland, I love y'all. The weather for one. And then also just the musical and even the just the artistic culture, and variety of just you meet people from all over the world here all the time. Just distinct type of people, even religious communities, just distinct and just different flavors and cultures and everything that I'm into. And so this has been home for me. I've really never looked back since then.
Yeah, right. Nice. Yeah. UK hit the Nigel Lewis remix of Right Moves. I was checking it out, today because I've heard it off the Nostalgia album. You wrote it on the Nostalgia 2020, and you've gone and blasted it. You're going to take it to another level. How cool, man! And it's just great.
You always do your homework. Yeah. So on Nostalgia, the original Right Moves was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to do something a little different with it. So what I called a long story mix, which ultimately didn't make the album. It was, I felt like a more update, more of an update, more of a sound that I was looking for. Probably originally just a funner. I just love the vibe of it. But I had also met Nigel through one of the DJs out of the UK, and I was like, I gotta have him do a remix for this. And it turned out phenomenal, of course, because Nigel is Nigel Lewis and everything he does sounds amazing. And we released that, and it kind of opened some doors there in the UK. It got on UK Soul Chart for a while. And it was really, really a fun deal.
Unbelievable. And I think it seems like, man, that you've got this real great presence in the UK at the moment. Well, I mean, obviously you've built this amazing presence over there with your listeners, with your people that love your music.
Yeah, no, they've been really warm and receptive to me. I guess it doesn't hurt working with one of the most popular remixers, producers out of there, or a couple of them, and then also one of their darling vocalists as well. I guess that doesn't hurt. And the funny thing is, that really wasn't the plan, either of those. That's just kind of how it ended up being. And so some of the best feedback and reception and appreciation that I've gotten has come from that region. So I'm all for it. You know, whoever the music resonates with, I'm good with it.
Amen. But it's, you haven't hit you're going to the top, yeah? So who's your favorite? Like, who would you, say not favorite, let me rephrase the question. Who would be your, I want to do a collab, I want to do another female vocalist or a male vocalist from the UK? Who would it be? Can I put you on the spot and ask you that question?
No, you absolutely can put me on the spot. It's an easy answer. From the UK, it would be Josh Stone.
Josh Stone, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been a fan of hers forever. It's
on podcast, man. It's going to go live. It's going to go viral.
I've been a fan of yours forever. Yeah. Please, let's collab. Let's do this. It would be really fun, and we make some really good music. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Awesome. Wade C.Long, sensational. A Long Story is the current album, released just Jan 6 actually. So to go to the music platforms and download it and buy it, and you're gonna. I hope maybe. Can I get a copy of your vinyl release when you do it? Is that okay? Can I?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be on the short list for, I'll take care of you, definitely.
Thanks, man. Hey, Trin's Jam up next, and we'll be back with Wade C.Long, A Long Story. There's lots more music, and it's great chatting with the great man. We'll be back shortly. All right, here we are. Welcome back. How are you, mate? Thanks for taking your time, mate. On this, what is it day? I think it's Saturday, right? Saturday afternoon.
Yes, it is. It is
Oh, Saturday night.
4:30 Saturday. Yeah, in the afternoon.
Nice, man. So Sunday here in 11 a.m. thereabouts, 11:30ish. But we're sort of Melbourne to LA. Really excited to have Wade C.Long join us. So we'll just listen to Trin's jam and guest bassist on the track there, Christian de Mesones. Mate, I was just looking through because, of course, you know, it's hard when we do an interview like this, or you know, we meet with the artist and we talk album. I mean, you go for hours because you got 11 tracks. You're a different performer. I mean, you know, it's soulful, it's just such character, you know, in your music. And I really love Celebrate You and Trin's jam. But you know what's really tickling me? What has also tickled me? Can I say this, mate? Is
Please
weather.
do.
Is weather, Wade? Weather. You know the track Weather?
Yes.
It's come on, man. Where did you get that from?
Oh wow. You are really putting me on the spot. Okay. So
come on, man.
The truth behind Weather. There was someone who we were interested in each other. There was a common interest. And we were about to take that next step. But oddly enough, we had met through someone who was very dear to both of us, who had passed away, who she was previously with. And for me, it wouldn't have been an issue for us to be together. For her, it was a tough thing to get by. And so we decided ultimately not to have a relationship. And but I joked with her, kind of jokingly. I think she knew I was serious. Well, at least she does by now. I said, yeah, you're not getting away with I'm getting something out of this. I'm writing a song about this experience. And so that is where Weather came from. I wrote it about that experience. So it's one of the more transparent pieces that I've written. But it's so funny that you should pick that one out of the bunch to ask me about, because that's the story behind it. I think it was lyrically easy to write based on the situation. So that part kind of took care of itself. But I think the music, to me, it's almost a blues song, which kind of goes with how I was feeling about the situation at the time. Yeah. But I don't, I didn't want it to be slow and sad or whatever. So I kind of gave it a little bit of a beat. And it kind of reminded me of maybe Spinners, or dare I even say it, Curtis Mayfield, just a type of feel that some of those bands and artists would come up with. And so I did my closest impersonation of what a Wade C.Long version of something like that might sound with. And I wanted to keep it. And it's funny, you talk about other artists. I probably should go ahead and put this out here too. When I was writing it, I was thinking Norah Jones.
Yeah,
and
wow.
I was like, how would she do this? And how would a duet? So if I ever do a live version and Norah, you happen to be somewhere around, well, please, by all means, stop by. But yeah, that was my thought behind the creative thought behind it. Yep.
Crazy, man. Absolutely sensational. Hey, if you're listening, please jump on and grab a copy of this album. It's sensational. Celebrate You's out at the moment, absolutely doing wonders, making wonders out there in the music world. You got to hear, obviously, Weather.
Well. You're the one I treasure. Pull yourself together. You say, don't let feelings in the way. Wish that you could be mine so tenderly, but the line to cross is too high for you. A cause we're up where we can can't make a move. Tell me what's a man to do. We're at rough weather. Please keep it together. Winds blow and the rain's together. Rain's fall, but I can feel a shelter. You're safe for me. It's helter skelter. Rough weather. Please keep it together. Rain's fall, but we can fall together. Rain's fall, but I can feel your shelter. You're safe for me. It's helter skelter.
Smooth Jazz Melbourne, and also you can check out Wade's latest LP. A couple of the tracks on rotation currently at 24/7 on our Smooth Jazz channel, which is Smooth Jazz Melbourne, playing smooth jazz, the best mix of smooth jazz, contemporary jazz, and grooves. Last Friday, mate, my last show, Friday night, I played "Celebrate You," and I was having a look at the time zone. I was going to get you on our live element. It's on radio.
Okay.
It's a Friday night radio thing. I think it was about 3 a.m. So I thought, no, I better not.
Yeah, I probably would not have budged, to be honest with you. I probably was under.
Great. Sorry about that. But no, what I'll do is, though, there's a podcast download of last Friday's show available shortly. And also next Friday, I'm going to do a little bit of a set for you and some excerpts from today's program.
Awesome.
I'll play some music for a long story on next week's show. So it's going to be exciting.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. So, hey, absolutely lovely. Hey, the LA scene has obviously set up some opportunities for you, Wade.
Right.
Do you talk to people? People sort of, DMing you on Insta when I say, would-be musicians want to connect and understand and, learn life, the business of music. Is that strong there or like?
Yeah, it's strong, but it's interesting. Usually the people who reach out to me are not necessarily from this area. They're from different parts of the world. And so sometimes just because of time zone differences and whatnot, it's hard to connect on some of those things. I would say meetings with other musicians here in LA tend to be, unless you're in a forum for that, it tend to be kind of random, like grocery store, bump into somebody, they have a t-shirt on with a guitar. Hey, do you play guitar? Yeah, I play. That's kind of how that stuff tends to happen more than maybe on a social media type basis. But I love the strength of social media that you can actually, an artist in Africa can reach out and say, hey, I play the kalimba, like, like the coolest thing ever to me. And I love meeting other musicians that way.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, the whole, the whole internet capacity has made it very, I guess, so much more easier to connect, obviously globally, and have opportunities. I mean,
a guy in Australia can be talking to a guy in LA, and they're in 2 different days at the same time. Imagine that.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Well, we can also introduce you to a few people as well. So a few musicians as well. But no, that's cool. So what's the next single release? So I mean, I don't want to push out the, Celebrate You so quickly, but what are you planning for the next couple of months?
Well, hopefully we can get Celebrate You a pretty good run. The next one most likely will be She's Not Mine.
Okay.
Slight possibility I will push Trin's Jam ahead of that, but it's looking more likely She's Not Mine. I've gotten a lot of feedback from radio about that song because I've sent the album out to most radio, and a lot of DJs are like, I like that song. So if they're already on it, it's probably a pretty good direction to go with the next single, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Listen, and that's interesting. You're listening to the radio world, which is great. you know. But
I try to make it easy. If I'm going to ask you guys to play it, I'm like, if it's something you're already into, that makes it even easier.
Yeah, it does. But I guess it challenges you, though. You've got a bit of a scope of what you think should be next. But then again, it's your listeners, right? It's a listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Right. And radio, I'm passionate about radio, I think maybe than some artists are. Radio people have a tough job. And I think it's tougher than a lot of people realize. First of all, musicians, artists, we tend to have colorful personalities. So dealing with those is one thing. Dealing with the massive amounts of product that you guys receive, sorting through it, deciding, okay, which couple of these songs can I add to my playlist this week? And sometimes it's not just because I like it. Sometimes my listeners like this, or it's hard. I would not want you guys' job at all. Like I wouldn't. It's really tough. So whenever I have an opportunity to kind of listen to where you guys are coming from on something, and if it doesn't fit too far outside of my vision for what I'm doing, I'm all ears, man.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, mate. That's great. It's really appreciative, from that perspective.
Yeah, we got to be a team,
100%, man. 100%. We got to be playing the music, mate. Got to play the music that works. I mean, we just want to keep seeing the success of Celebrate You and obviously the album, A Long Story. What's in the pipe works for Celebrate You? You're going to do a live thing, or is that a possibility, man? Or
I would love to be able to do that. And the way that the people listening and watching this wonderful podcast would make that happen is to create a demand for that. Hil is in UK. I'm in Los Angeles here in the States. And for us to be able to do something like that, there would have to be a demand for us to be able to perform together in the same place. So if that's something that you guys want to see happen, bombard the song, buy it, stream it, flood your radio station lines and internet with requests for the song, and hopefully that's something we can make happen at some point.
Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, looking forward to it, man. I hope it happens. Looking forward to it.
I would love it. I really would.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're pushing it out here in Melbourne, mate, in Australia.
Appreciate it.
Got a bit of the lingo there. Hey, I want to just quickly, Jaeigh, Sherwood, Andre's Coca.
Yes. Those are two underground artists that deserve a huger platform, man. Jaeigh has been working with me for about 6 years. We worked together. I produced a couple of things for him. He always, when I need 16 bars on a track, I will call him and he knows exactly what I need. It's a really great rapper, a great MC, and he just knows how to deliver and fit into any type of song that I ask him to be on. He just brings it every time. And he has his own projects out. I should know his socials and I don't, and he'll probably punch me for that later, and that, it's all good. But also Andres Coca, phenomenal thing. Odd thing about Andres is he is a phenomenal music master. He's a mastering technician, and he does a great job mastering music. In fact, he mastered the entire Longitude Part 1 Keys Please that you spun Happy Go Lucky quite a bit off of it. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. But he mastered that project. But he's also an insanely talented guitarist, acoustic, electric. He played the guitar on Mr. Jones that was on that same project. And he has his own things that he's working on. But I asked him, I had a guitar on the track that the three of us did together, and I can't remember the name of my own songs right now. But it needed something different guitar wise. It's "Take You Out" is the name of the song, and it needed something different guitar wise. So I asked him, "Can you play something?" And I always tell people I grew up listening to everybody from AC/DC to Andre Crouch. So what I heard when I heard what I wanted him to play, I said, "Can you put me in the mind frame of some of Pink Floyd's more funky stuff?" Because everybody knows Pink Floyd was a punk band, but they kind of had once in a while the rhythm lines and everything, had you nod your head a little bit with some of the more R&B or disco type flavor stuff then. And I said, if you could put that in there, what your idea of that is married to this track. And when he came back with it, it was so perfect for it that I said, this is more of a feature, what you're doing here. This isn't really just a background part. And so, definitely look up Andres Coca and Jaeigh Sherwood. They're really great musicians in their own respect. And I was really glad to have them on this project.
Absolutely, Wade. I think in your music, if I can say, mate, and reflect, is you got the opportunity to dare out of the boundaries of where you come from with your connections with other artists. Some grooves are just some grooves, and you just can't do a lot to it. But I think you've challenged the boundaries all the time, and I love the category. If you have a look at your portfolio, if I can encourage our listeners, our watchers, get behind Wade C.Long, listen to the music, look at your catalog, check it out, because I tell you, it's well worth understanding who this cat is, because you've got it masked, mate. And growing. You know what I mean? Like, to see Nostalgia, to listen to Nostalgia 2020, and then to listen to A Long Story Today. We're miles apart, but so much more adventure. Let me tell you that, so much more adventure in your music, man.
I appreciate it. That sometimes gets me in trouble too.
Okay, that's fine.
And sometimes with certain radio, which no slight to them at all, but some have minds that they like to stay inside of.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That works for their audiences. So sometimes maybe some things that I would like to have on the radio don't get accepted quite as easily. And so one of the things that I'm learning how to do is to take tracks that I think will fit enough inside the lines without losing the artistry of it. it finding kind of that line where I can do both of those and still come out with something that I think people will like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, mate, we're just going to look at sort of closing the sesh, but I want to do a takeout on electricity, because I think it's important that we finish the show with that flavour.
Absolutely.
And I know we talked about it in the beginning of the program. That was the first release before the precursor of this album coming together. Yeah, A Long Story.
Yep, you got it.
Just a final note on electricity. A final note on to your listeners out there.
Yeah, electricity. I like telling the story behind this because it was actually hilarious how I came up with it. So there was a young lady I was kind of vibing it out with one day. We were just kind of talking and getting to know each other or whatever. And so she ended up touching my hand. She was very flirtatious. So she touched my hand, and when she touched my hand, we had an electric spark. Yeah. Wow. And so she of course took advantage of that. And she said, "Oh, wait, we have electricity." And I thought to myself, "Baby, you don't know, you just wrote a song." Like it. And I held on to that thought for like 2 years. Wow. And then I came up with the track for it. And that kind of was how that song was born. But wow. Electricity got a lot of great support. And I just want to say thank you, to the fans, and thank you to radio and just everybody who's been supporting electricity, to Celebrate You Now, to A Long Story Project, and even celebrated, but even supported Nostalgia. I'm just so really grateful for the reception, and really thankful, and please don't stop now. Please continue to support it, because it definitely means a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. How do we connect to get your music? Let us know.
Oh
Website.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, definitely. I don't have it direct yet, but please do your iTunes, your Amazons, where you can do your direct MP3 downloads. Those are very much appreciated. If you're just not into that at all and you're going to stream, please, your Amazon Music, Spotify, all the usual suspects will have it. YouTube has it. You can find me. I will always have something linked on my website at CLongmusic.com. And on my socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Wade C. Long. YouTube is Wade C. Long Music. I'm pretty sure I got it right that time. And I always tell people there's not a lot of Wade C. Longs out there. So if ever in doubt, hit your boy Google up and put Wade C. Long in there, and Google will send you in the right direction.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We've been doing that quite a bit. So yeah, and it's comes. You're up the top, man. So don't worry about
that. Appreciate it. I'm glad. That means people are going there looking for me. So I appreciate it.
Final question for you, Wade. And again, thank you so much for making your time today. Absolutely epic to see A Long Story, the album release, Celebrate You, the success behind that, the collaborations with wonderful artists. I've got to ask the question, man. I always do when I do the interview to whoever I'm interviewing. What do you see in the next couple of years? What do you see in the next couple of years?
Oh, gosh.
In the music.
I am tired of sitting here in LA. My hope is that this album creates a necessity for me to get out and see some of the fans and do some performing and some traveling and some touring and some UKing and some Australiaing, hopefully. That is my biggest wish. I will probably start on another project. I'm trying to hold off because my brain needs that space to clear. I probably will start on another project in another 6 months or so. But yeah, right now it's all about promoting this album and hopefully creating the space to be able to come see you guys live.
Oh, it could be awesome, mate. I look the day for it to happen. Can't wait. And it will happen, mate. Don't you worry about that. We've got a few things happening down under that I obviously are not at liberty to let out as yet, but we're working on a few things. So
awesome.
Next year or two, there's going to be some great movement happening here in Australia. So looking forward to telling the world very soon. So
awesome. Yeah. I stay ready.
Come on, man. Got to come to Australia. Australia's lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. But of course,
yeah, definitely.
Of course, mate. Love to travel the world, but yeah, Aussie's got something that's very different.
I believe it.
Yeah. Hey, actually, apparel. Are you doing any apparel? I'd love to get a Wade C. Long T-shirt, man. What's?
Oh yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned that. If you go to my website, CLongmusic.com, I do have a tab on there that says merch. And if you hit the merch, it will take you to all of the Wade C. Long gear that you can get. Definitely get your Wade C. Long gear. We do not have A Long Story related line up just yet, but there is definitely a line, and it's there. It's there, and please, yeah, definitely support in that way as well.
That's awesome, mate. All right, let's do that. But taking out the show today will be the very awesome Electricity, and we look forward to the best of success for you, Wade. And keep in touch, huh? Let us know what's.
Oh, I appreciate it. No doubt, you're not getting rid of me.
No, don't worry. Absolutely. Vice versa. All right, vice versa. Don't forget to check out the SmoothJazz.Melbourne 24/7. We're live. The A Long Story's on rotation. Celebrate You and a couple other tracks as well. And we'll be putting some excerpts of this program on our shows, so you'll be able to hear a bit of a download. And I've reached out to you and spoke to you about a little program so that maybe we can do something with Wade C. Long in the future online there. But we'll have a chat about that offline. But thank you, mate, and all the best. and we'll see you
Same
soon.
to you. Appreciate it. Absolutely.
You're welcome, man. Congratulations. So stick around. Listen on the podcast. Here it is, Electricity from the album that was the precursor of the album A Long Story. But here it is, Wade C.Long, and take it.
Absolutely.
If I kissed you right, if I kissed you right, girl, would you be my baby? If I kissed you right, if I kissed you right, if I kissed you right, if I missed you right, if I missed you right, girl, would you be my lady? If I missed you right, if I missed you right, if I missed you right. Every time we touch, every time we touch, I feel electricity. Every time we touch, every time we touch, I feel electricity. When I call your name, when I call your name, girl, do you feel like I do when you call my name? When you call my name, do you feel the same? There's no one to blame. There's no one to blame. We only meant for friendship, but it's getting too late, and I'm feeling the way. This just might be fate. Every time we touch, every time we touch, I feel electricity. I'm feeling it. Every time we touch, every time we touch, I feel electricity. Tell me what it means right for us. Every time we touch, every time we touch, I wanna say don't stop, stop it, no fears, baby. Every time we touch, every time we touch, one thing we're both dreaming, we're both dreaming of, we're both dreaming of. Every time, every time, every time